started from yesterday, there were some complaints, or did you actually see this person asking for money, or what happened?
We received a complaint yesterday afternoon at approximately 1:30 p.m. on Brewer Road in Chunchula that there was heavy traffic in and out of an address out there. And we also received complaints that someone was charging $700 to be able to file a claim with BP to recover a $5,000 amount of money from BP in lieu of having received or having missed out on some work. So our investigators responded to the scene and found an operation taking place and determined that more than 200 people had filed some paperwork with an individual that took their Social Security number down and their pictures of their driver's license and had promised that he would file a claim for them with BP if they would allege that they had missed out on work by deheading shrimp, or if they had intended on deheading shrimp. Our investigators are still working on this case as we speak, but it appears to be a effort, or at least a way to defraud BP, because while BP would pay certain types of claims to individuals that missed out on work, this appears to be at least the elements of a scam where just anybody would show up, sign some papers, and an individual would maybe charge them a fee for filing papers on their behalf, kind of aiding and abetting a lot of people to scam BP.
So have you arrested anyone, this person? Or
We have not arrested anyone yet. We are investigating the involvement of a Mr. James Buckley, 54-year-old male of Mobile, and the possibility of him aiding and abetting fraud committed against BP. Now, we're working with some BP officials and other law enforcement agencies to further the investigation to determine if, in fact, these claims have actually been made with BP, and also to have brought it to the attention of BP. But we have determined that BP has not issued a blanket, hey, we pay so much for those that were deheading shrimp.
What about the people who were like, yeah, I want some of this. Let me give you, here's my information, give me some money. Are they in trouble?
Well, possibly some individuals could be in trouble, but it appears that they were entering into some type of contract where this individual would file a claim on their behalf. However, they possibly could be charged with filing false claims or fraudulent claims if they've entered into an agreement with someone to file on their behalf. We're early in this investigation to determine whether or not any claims have actually been filed and to determine if any claims have actually been paid.
Okay, so these people might have been involved in the deheading business and thought this guy was doing them a favor, or they knew this isn't right.
From indications that we've received, and we're early in this investigation, that a lot of people were just jumping into this thinking it was an easy way to pick up $5,000 by paying someone $700, and I mean, it was just you know, it's just a bad case of blatant fraud on the part of some, it would appear.
So 200 people paid $700?
No, the payment was not made. As we understand the process of this situation, if people would provide their personal identification information, sufficient information in order to file a claim, that another individual would file that claim on their behalf, and as a fee for doing that, once they received the monies which would come to this individual filing on their behalf, then a $700 fee would be paid to them. Now, if these people were legitimately out of work, then the claim would have been proper, and would be proper to pay someone a fee to help them make that claim. But in this case, Mr. Buckley was operating, if you call this a business, it was certainly a business without a license, and a dirt road in Chunchula hardly seems to be a place where you would go file a claim against BP.
Perfect. Is he kind of prone to do this type of thing, or is this the first time his name's popped up on your radar?
Mr. Buckley does have a criminal record where he has served time in the past on some federal violations with the tax folks.
This has got to be a headache, all this BP stuff for you guys. I mean, Is this the first thing you've had with this?
I'm really proud to say that we've not had many fraudulent schemes that we've been involved in with investigating, although that's not to say they're not, and we've been warning people, and we will continue to warn people to not be caught up into these schemes. Now, these individuals that have furnished their personal identification, social security numbers, they could very well find themselves a victim of some type of crime, identity theft, by providing that information. So there are only really two places, and BP, of course, is not who you file a claim with anymore. Anyhow, there's a Gulf Coast claims facility that Mr. Feinberg, is in charge of, and you file with him is the proper way, and we have that information to make available to people that want to file a claim.
Perfect. Do you just want to say, you big dummy? Why did you give all this information?
I think some of these people were just suckered into thinking it was free money, and bad for them and poor decision by them, and some of them could actually perhaps face charges.
You need anything or no?
Well, this time of the year, there are always scammers, but this time of the year, scammers seem to come out more frequently. What kind of tips would you give people to look out for?
Well, we would certainly warn people, advise people, aside from the BP angle, this time of the year around Christmas time, there are a lot of scams and frauds that are committed upon people. Oftentimes people are approached in parking lots and offered an opportunity to make quick and easy money. Sometimes they're flim-flammed out of their own money, or they're sold goods that turn out to be counterfeit, or they can become a victim of some other type of theft just by being distracted. So, do business with licensed businesses, known businesses. Don't do business with people in the parking lots. Don't do business with somebody that you don't know.